Hello, my name is Claire Dickson. I'm down here today at the Castlemaine Town Folk Festival for PBS, conducting some really amazing interviews with some fantastic artists. First cab off the rank are two of the founding members of the Zamrock group, which they are Djaara and Patrick, and I'm super keen to have a little chat with them. Let's go. Do you often find yourselves kind of going out to regional towns and expanding your tours out to, smaller little country towns?
We have been to few in Germany and some other places, but this is also unique. Yeah, it's quite unique, and I wish I brought the pillow so I could stay longer.
I mean, we've been to all sorts of places, forests in the middle of nowhere, and so we're used to just different environments, which is great. It's a great experience.
You're going to wait that well, I mean, you've had this massive global resurgence in recent years. What does it feel like to be bringing Zamrock to a whole new generation of listeners?
Wow.
It feels good in the first place. It feels good. It's a new lease on life. When you think it's the afternoon of your life, then the master up there says, no, not yet. You still have a bit of... It's a good feeling.
Yeah, and it's really incredible because I think when the whole thing started, we did the documentary, and we felt at least we had the history laid down. People had a foundation of where the band started. But I don't think we ever imagined that we'll be traveling the world and playing to so many fans. And not just only fans, but fans who are really interesting. They range from about 9 to 80.
Everyone. Something for everyone.
Yeah, it's been an amazing experience. Yeah, it's something we never expected. But
I've made a lot of friends. I've made cousins, and I feel comfortable to be anywhere in the world.
That's such a special feeling.
Yes.
To be able to spread the joy of your music to so many people. I mean, over the years, it's evolved and kind of blurred the lines of psychedelia, and you've kind of funky disco tracks as well.
Yes.
And then, of course, you've got the more traditional kind of Zambian music as well. What part of that kind of blend do you think your most recent albums or the newest Which sound is kind of incorporating?
I suspect, Zamrock is a fusion of our traditional rhythms, melodies and things like that. The simpler way part of music, pentatonic scale, 6/8 time signature and things like that. So we actually fuse into many genres of music. The interesting part is that as long as it's good, it's acceptable. And you can't limit yourself to a certain genre.
I think it's really about expressing whatever feeling you want to convey. And then you use music to do that. So music you can pull from all sorts of genres. And I think that's what we've done. We've just pulled from all sorts. I think the last album, there was a bit of electronic music going on as well. But we were just doing that as we did before. The band has done before when the disco stuff came up. We put in the synthesizers.
It's great. I love that. What can you do?
We just pick up the challenges and express ourselves through music, whatever that might become.
Especially that, to the audiences that we've been playing, they seem to accept what we are doing, which is very encouraging. It's you enjoy the energy that you share between the band and the audiences, which is a good thing. We feel that probably eventually people realize the importance of music in life. It takes away the stresses, the negative emotions and things like that. So for a while, as you listen to that music, you are free. You are at peace. You're not thinking of war.
And you're connected.
What's incredible, I think there's a little story to share actually. I think it's worth sharing. I think it was in the States. A mother brought 2 boys. They were under 9, and she said, "Can you please sign their poster and have a selfie with them?" He said, "These children listen to witch music before going to school." I thought, wow, this is another level. I'm still trying to process that. But that's the effect of music. It's just,
It's really special. I think Witch is such an incredibly influential band. And even in saying so, I know there's like so many bands that have inspired over the years, and there's so many incredible new younger African rock bands around at the moment. Are there any new exciting artists that you're aware of that we should perhaps give a listen to?
Yeah, there are a few back home. Yeah, but see, the way you pass on the baton is not by forcing people to come to you, and you don't limit them within the time frame. You let it go. Well, sometimes they just observe what you're doing rather than a master class or something. So I've noticed after the year of us traveling around the world, and that Zamrock is unique to Zambia, just like the Amapiano is unique to South Africa, Rumba to Congo. We are trying to see Zamrock as being unique, such that when people come to Zambia, they're saying, "Where can I listen to Zamrock?" So this is what we are trying to share with the younger generation, so that they don't want trust imitation. They want to rap like Tupac. And, he's gone, and there are a lot of Tupacs in America. And so
Or witches.
Yeah. We need more of the Zamrock. Than other people's musics.
Yeah, well, your music spreads so much joy, and I'm really looking forward to your set later tonight. I know you need to go and sound check, so I'll let you go and do it, but thank you both so much.
Are you coming to play with us on stage?
I'll come have a dance. We are down here at the Castlemaine Town Folk Festival today. We've been interviewing some of the amazing acts that have been playing. I'm about to have a little chat with King Stingray. Matter of fact, they are still to play their set, so really keen to see how they're feeling about that and have a little chat together. You've taken your particular brand of Lilonyu, is that how I say it? Lilonyu?
Yeah.
Surf rock all around the world now with King Stingray. How does it feel to be bringing it to Castlemaine this weekend?
I think it's we've been here, we played here before, like 2 or 3 years ago, and it was awesome, going to a place like this and sharing our, music, our culture through music actually, and love and bringing people, because I guess music brings people together.
That's been a common thread from all the artists I've spoken to today. That seems to be such a thing. It's all about community and joining people through music. And I definitely think that is something that your music as King Stingray really does do as well.
It is.
I mean, how do you find yourself keeping a balance between tradition and community and that kind of modern rock energy as well?
So it's pretty simple, and also you have to think about how do you tap into a different world and then introduce something that been there for like 75 or more than that cultural upbringings, and then putting it together, and then putting it to the world. Example, like everything through cultural area and obligations and languages, and in your way, I would love to bring more music, write more music, and then putting it together into contemporary world, and and sharing with the Western side of a music industry.
Yeah, amazing. Your live shows are also often amazing celebrations. What's the main feeling, or I guess message, that you want people to walk away with tonight after the show?
I guess believe in yourself, be safe, enjoy the music. Maybe a recommendation to your friends that King Stingray is here to share music. Maybe come along one day and meet us.
Yeah, see what it's all about.
Yes.
Absolutely. What's exciting you creatively as you kind of look towards the next phase of King Stingray? Is there more albums on the works?
Yes, we are working on our new album actually, and slowly just tapping into different kind of feelings and different sort of creative music instead of this surf rock, YOLO.
Okay.
There's always be a differently present and differently created in music.
Cool. Do you think your influences are expanding or changing, or you're kind of bringing in more sounds?
Yes, definitely, expanding and also changing people's life throughout Arnhem Land, especially my family, the younger generation coming up. Music is all about creating and, sharing love.
Absolutely. Is there any new artist or anyone in particular you've been listening to recently?
Yes. Been listening to the local band called Wild Honey Band from where I come from, and Drifting Clouds.
Drifting Clouds are amazing.
They all, everyone's so connected, and everyone's, family, like uniquely.
Yeah.
I think they're really going well, and
spreading so much joy.
There's a big world to be able to explore and experience.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for taking the time, for having a little chat with me.
Yeah.
And enjoy the rest of the festival. Good luck with the set. I'll be down there having a boogie.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, good.
I've had the opportunity to interview some absolutely incredible musicians who have been playing here today. The headliner of the show, however, I am super duper excited to see, and even more so excited to have a little chat with. Sharon Van Etton and the Attachment Theory is joining me here. Sharon, hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
Oh, I've had an absolutely beautiful day. Have you?
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful here. I've never been to Castlemaine.
It's such a beautiful little pocket of the world. Still so close to like Melbourne and everything as well, but you get that kind of fresh country air at the same time. It's pretty special. Well, obviously, firstly, thank you so much for coming out to Castlemaine. We were having a tiny chat before where you mentioned most of the time you're finding yourself in big cities, and it's the first time to kind of stretch your legs a little bit and come out to a little rural town. How important do you think it is to sort of visit these rural areas and when you're on tour?
I think in general it's good to see all parts of a country to see. It's like it's not just cities, it's all the in between. And I've lived in cities and I've also lived outside of cities, and I grew up in a very country area, and I feel like it's all very influential. And it's so important to be able to take a breather when you're traveling too, just to kind of give yourself some space and remind yourself of nature and slow your roll a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, you also mentioned before this is your second show, so you're fresh here. Do you have much time on your trip to sort of explore while you're here?
We'll actually have a little bit of time in the Melbourne area.
Oh, lovely.
And, every day off is a travel day, so we usually get to our next destination with an evening and a morning before the show.
Awesome.
So I feel very grateful for that kind of pacing on a tour, which doesn't really happen when you're on a bus or in a van.
For sure. Yeah, I can imagine it's quite different when you're touring here in Australia compared to touring in, I know lots of other countries. It might be you're on a tour bus and you go to sleep and you wake up somewhere new. Or in Australia, I feel like it's quite different and logistically can be harder. Have you sort of found, this isn't your first time in Australia, how have you found touring here compared to maybe touring in the US or somewhere else?
I feel like it's much more humane. I think, like I said earlier, you have a bit more time to explore, and I feel like we gives you a little bit more time to adapt too, because the time change is very real.
Opposite schedule.
I'm trying to explain to my son that I'm in the future and that things look good. But yeah, I think, having a day off in between every show, I also feel like we're all more rested and have more energy for our shows. And sometimes you can get a bit tired from the bus tours, which ultimately feel like camping, while this feels more like a vacation and we get to play.
Great combination. Amazing combination. So, as I mentioned before, you're currently touring with your band, The Attachment Theory. Can you tell us a little bit about how this group came together and maybe like the musical chemistry or, the conversation you're exploring with everyone on this album and in this band?
Yeah. So, two of my bandmates I've been playing with since about 2018, 2019. Mm-hmm. And then COVID hit, and I was writing a lot at home, and so I threw out my demo tracks to my bandmates to see if they would help me record stuff from afar. And so we didn't get to tour that record until 2022. We hadn't all been in the same room together. So I thought it would be a great way to reconnect by renting a house that had a detached studio so that we could all come into one place and learn how to play these songs in a live environment, but in a very communal, intimate setting that's not a sterile kind of practice space.
Yeah.
And So we were all just playing the songs and figuring out how to flesh out the songs instrumentation-wise. And we got into a really inspiring place where I loved the sonic palette that we were creating, just based on the record we had made from afar. And I was feeling really good, and we had gone through all the songs, so I asked the band if they would just want to jam.
Cool. Which
was
new for you, right?
I've never asked anybody that in my life. And I was always nervous to ask people or be a part of something like that, because I don't have that kind of musicality. But I play with people that are just very open and accepting and nurturing, where I didn't really bat an eye, and neither did they when I asked. And in one sitting in about an hour, we wrote 2 songs together without even trying or forcing it to be anything. So I walked away from that rehearsal feeling really inspired, and we were about to go on tour, but I knew the next time we had a break that I would want to go back to that same location, but with the intent to write for a week and see what would happen. And we ended up writing 15 songs in a week.
Just like that. That's so exciting. How important do you think it is as well? Obviously, the people that you're surrounding yourself with, I mean, you could be jamming with anyone, but do you think the people you were jamming with really had an impact on your sound? Like, what do they maybe bring that perhaps if you were writing this album on your own, you might not have thought to include?
Well, I tend to write solo. Like, before this record, I'm a loner.
Yeah.
And I'm alone with my thoughts, and I usually write when I'm in a darker place, and I don't have the words for the feelings that I know I need to get out. And I feel like we'd all been through so much together, like getting through COVID, and they had shown me how dedicated they were by wanting to make this record and wanting to tour with me, even after this huge break, that I wanted to instill more confidence in them or show them how devoted I was to them.
It's like reciprocal.
I just feel like they're such amazing musicians that when I told them music that I was inspired by, and when I sent them those initial demos from the previous record, that's kind of their forte, that whole sonic palette. And I just seemed to feel judged, and I felt in a really safe space. And because it can be very overwhelming and vulnerable. I was very vulnerable, and I sing a stream unconsciously when I first write melodies. So, you're hearing
people.
Yeah, like it's a lot of jibber jabber. But, there was no judgment. It was all we all had our own process, and it was a lot of conducting. But it was, you just have to be in the room with people that you feel supported and accepted by, so you're not judging yourself while being in that kind of vulnerable space.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think that the way you feel about your older works have changed now that this new project with the Attachment Theory is all about collaboration? Like, are there any songs that maybe you've revisited or played live that you think has maybe changed sonically now that you're kind of potentially more open to collaboration on ideas?
There's our song Every Time the Sun Comes Up,
my favorite
song we revisited with this palette, more like Joy Division inspired. But I'm also happy to let those past chapters live in a certain era for me. That if I do acoustic sets, I might reintroduce my older work. But I feel like for the most part, every album is a different chapter. And sometimes we integrate older material, but for the most part, it's the last 3 records. That is where I am sonically right now, but I'm sure I'll get to a place where I'll go back to my first record, which I'm still very proud of. But, my first record came out 16 years ago, so I'm still that person, but it's also a long time ago.
Yeah. How do you feel when you look back at that old music? Does it feel like, diary entries? Your music is so personal.
Very much so. I mean, they are chapters of my life, but sometimes I can look at the lyrics with distance and see how it has helped people beyond myself.
For sure.
And feel like they have value in this way for hopefully a younger generation that, now is already better equipped than I was at that age to, be able to communicate their emotions in a healthy way.
I think it's such a special power of music to be able to bring together people in community and, people to connect with no matter when it was made. There's always going to be someone who can feel what you're feeling, and your music is really powerful for that. It's very deep. And like you mentioned before, vulnerable as well. And I can't imagine what that must feel like bringing that to an audience. And how does it feel to be so vulnerable and on stage in front of so many people? I'm impressed.
It feels very vulnerable. I mean, I definitely tear up a lot during the set.
Yeah.
And even like in being an adult and feeling, feeling like I know myself more than I did years ago. But it's still very emotional to look out to a group of people that are connecting with you in this deep way.
Yeah.
And, I know that my songs have helped other people, and that helps me feel like, because sometimes I go through these like moments where I feel super selfish for being on stage and asking for people's attention sometimes, and when I can connect with someone in a way where I feel like they're actually there with me and not I'm demanding anything of that, makes me
You're
feel
absolutely not. People are there to see you because they've connected with what what you've put out and what you've brought to them. And I think, that's so incredibly special. I also wanted to briefly talk about the project name, the attachment theory. Is that kind of like a nod to like the psychological framework about like how we bond with others? Like everyone's kind of into their attachment styles at the moment. Is that a nod to that, I guess?
Absolutely. I mean, I do have an interest in psychology. It's still something I'm studying, and hopefully one day I'll have some kind of certification in. But the bigger jug is that we all turn into each other's like chosen family when we're touring together. We do have these sibling-like dynamics that I think are really interesting, and I had a little pushback from a couple of band members at first with the name because I think they have a harder time. They said, as long as we don't have to talk about what our attachment styles are, I'm totally fine with doing the name. But for me, it's mostly a joke.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. When you meet audiences in different towns, when you're playing in different communities as well, or like regional Victoria where we are today, do you sense different types of like emotional feedback from crowds compared to playing in the city or in like a more intimate venue?
Yeah, I mean, you play places and you feel like the polite audiences, like in certain places, like where were we? Maybe in Germany, it was like very, very polite, like critical, but out of like them, that's their way of liking it is by giving you feedback. But then you go to Paris was a really energetic show, and also seated versus standing completely changed an audience.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, it's kind of all over the place. But sometimes people are more introvert and some people are more extrovert, but the standing seating thing can also just be a psychological.
Yeah, I can imagine. And for anyone discovering you at the festival today for the very first time, what would you want them to take away from your show?
Just a sense of community and a safe space to be themselves, and to also like be together in our grief, but also in our collective defiance and our joy, and just to be together and remind each other that there's hope somewhere.
Absolutely. Well, Sharon Van Etton, thank you so much for chatting with me today at the Castlemaine Town Folk Festival. I wish you all the best with your set, and I can't wait to see it myself.
Thank you so much. We're excited to be here.
Yay! Thank you.
Thank you.
We are interviewing a bunch of incredible musicians, and up next I have the absolute pleasure of having a chat with Emily, who is one of the members of the Brooklyn-based group Florist. Really keen to get into it and say hello. You've just now finished your set over at the Bridge. How did you feel like it went? How was it? What were the vibes like?
There was a group of people like right up in the front that were sitting down on the pavement listening, and it was like, despite all of the commotion and everything around the festival site, it was it felt like a little pocket of our world for that moment. So yeah, it was cozy. It was nice.
Really special. I feel like a lot of people that I spoke to in and around the festival, you ask them who were they most excited to see. A lot of people said Florist.
Aww.
So yeah, really, really bummed that I didn't get down to see that myself, because I too was very, very keen. How do you think, if you're doing a live show, obviously you've just played now at the Bridge and you had that beautiful group of people sitting in front. How do you kind of feel that like an environment of your place can shape your performance?
I think it definitely has a big effect. I think being outside is always really nice to feel a bit more connected to like the scale of Earth.
For sure.
I like playing places where like it doesn't feel cold.
Yeah, we're locked out today.
It's warm in here, and inside as well. Like it's more about a sense of like, I think, like being more in a living room or being more in like a space where people are equals and people are gathering like to just like really be with each other and share things. So like on one hand, being in like a really nice venue with perfect sound is good from like a musician standpoint, but it's maybe if something is a little too sterile or a little too proper, like that can be a bit of a weird vibe. I like to feel like really connected to the humanness of it all. So yeah, it definitely has an effect. We started playing in living rooms and stuff, so I always try to channel that like wherever we are with my energy. So
yeah, I feel like, you know, that ties in well with the sort of music you produce as well. It's really comforting and delicate, but also really quite, I guess, emotionally huge. How does it feel to be so vulnerable and kind of open in front of an audience? Does that also why you kind of like that comfortable living room feel when you're playing somewhere?
Yeah, I think so. I think that for me, music started as a way to kind of make sense of my own like existence, but then when I started sharing it, I started realizing that that kind of vulnerability is not something that we always lead with in life, and not something that we always open ourselves up to when we're just having small talk or meeting somebody in any kind of, you know, sort of like normal setting. And realizing that if I make my life kind of dedicated to music spaces where I'm sharing that and I feel safe sharing that, it can be something that like, you know, just encourages others to do that and encourages us to be honest with each other and be vulnerable and stuff. So yeah, it's like it's a huge part of why I'm here in the first place.
Special. I mean, you're here as well in this regional little town of Castlemaine, and you've come all the way from Brooklyn, New York. How important is it to you to kind of get out of the big cities when you're touring?
Oh yeah, it's great. I actually, so I'm from the Catskills, which is a couple hours outside of New York City, and some people have said to me that this is almost like the Catskills version of like being outside of Melbourne, and it's great. I love being in quiet places, slow moving places. I'm a Gemini, so I have like oh wow, sick. I have like, you know, like the other music project and Florist, like I just have to have kind of everything. So yeah, I love cities. I love, you know, the commotion of things, and I also love like intense solitude. So yeah, I'm really excited to be spending some time in smaller cities in the country, and being up here is like perfect.
Yeah, and it's like a nice distance from like the city and everything as well. That's at your doorstep if you do need to dip back in. I know you're also a collector of modular synthesizers, and I adore the sound that they bring to many of Florist's tracks, and of course like a lot of your solo work as well. What is it about these kind of instruments that you connect with so much?
When I first started using modular synthesizers, it started to like break apart the way that my brain thought of how music had to be structured, and how like pop music a lot of the times has like a really standard kind of form, and modular synths there's no rules, and it's so easy to just kind of like create something that flows, and you don't really realize what the structure was, or it doesn't have structure. And that was something that just like really inspired me and really inspired my songwriting with Florist as well, to kind of like not be as afraid to make a song that, you know, doesn't have like verse, chorus, verse, or just has the same thing over and over again, or has spoken word, or whatever it may be. And like I'm a pretty introverted person, like when I'm making music especially. So with the modular synth, you can have so many elements, so many like tracks going in a piece, and
it's just you.
Like kind of just be in control of it, and not on the computer and like opening up eBay or whatever. Like whenever you just get distracted and like open up Facebook or something. So yeah, I love that about the format. And yeah,
very cool. Well, one last question for you, and then I'll let you get out there and enjoy the rest of the festival. What has been inspiring you recently that maybe fans might not expect, whether it's books or sounds or places, anything kind of come to mind?
What's been inspiring me recently?
Yeah.
I saw a movie recently that I guess it's not maybe unexpected, but it's a kind of a lesser known movie I'm learning. It's called The Taste of Tea. It's a movie from 2004, I think, and it's a Japanese film that's kind of a surrealist, like not day in the life, but like little portrait of a small town, a family in a small town, and it's one of the most beautiful things I've seen in a long time. I can't really stop thinking about it. So I would just
put it on the list.
General recommendation to anybody, The Taste of Tea. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time, Emily. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yay. Hey, we're Chum of Finches. We're here at Town Folk Festival. Playing in a place like Castlemaine, it's all about community and bringing the community together, which is always really lovely. We play in Castlemaine quite a bit, and it's always a great vibe, a lovely show. Yeah, excited to play. Yeah, it feels like, you know, a little Northcote, a bit of Northcote's kind of popped itself over here. There's a lot of creativity in Castlemaine, and like Northcote. You can feel the creativity everywhere. Yeah. I mean, we love touring in regional areas. It's really great to bring, I guess, the great thing that's happening in Melbourne musically out into the regional towns, definitely. We actually have had a chance to have some time with Main FM a few years ago, I think. Yeah, and they're big supporters of us. So yeah, it's great to have that community radio support everywhere we go. Oh yeah, I think there's a lot of great folk music around, and also an exploration of the idea of what folk music is, and all the different flavours within that very broad genre. I think Town Folk does a great job of bringing all the different genres and what folk is into this one small but amazing festival. There's quality everywhere. I think folk music is about storytelling for me, and about like true honest expression, I would say. And that's kind of what we like to do in our songwriting, is bring forward something honest and connecting to your own roots as well. Oh yeah, there's so many amazing bands. Yeah, I'm going to see Dan Kelly. Love Dan, great mate of ours, and he's awesome. Yeah, I'd go and see Mika James after this. She'll be awesome. And of course Sharon Van Etton. Yeah, I think we're all very excited about her. Yeah. We're going to be spending a lot of time overseas in the new year. So we'll head touring around UK. Yeah, spending a lot of time in Scotland, which will be fun. New music, yeah. Hey, we're Chum of Finches. We're here at Town Folk Festival. Support community radio and support PBS. Yeah.
Town Folk is a festival that started between three venues, the Bridge Hotel, Boomtown Winery and Shed Shaker Tap Room, that are all on the one side of the street. And I'm friends with them. I own the Bridge, and we just wanted to collaborate on a show with one ticket between all the venues. And then I got carried away because I saw this oval across the road from the venue, and I thought, let's scale it up. So that's it is. But I guess programming wise, I think there's a bit of a gap and in opportunities for contemporary folk, I guess you could call it, artists, which covers a lot of different sounds, obviously, but I just felt like, there's probably not that many festivals across Australia that really dive into some of that sort of real sad bastard music, and I thought I would give it a go. Yeah.
My name is Isobel Caldwell. I'm here at Town Folk Festival in Castlemaine, and this is the second time I've been here, and it's grown so much since the last time, which was a couple of years ago, and it's just really cool to see everyone coming together. Like today, the band that I played in, we performed with like a community choir called the Forest Creek Folk Choir. Just really cool to see everyone coming together, and like kids, dogs, friends, family, all the local businesses, and just supporting each other and like supporting music and live music. It was great.
Hi, this is Ella Thompson at Town Folk. And I'm always thinking, how can I play in other places other than Fitzroy? I love Fitzroy. It's the first place that I probably played, in all the venues and all that. But yeah, it's just there's people everywhere that want to enjoy music. So I think it's really important and fun to get out into regional centres and play music. Well, when I released Ripple on the Wing, I didn't really have too many expectations, or like, yeah, I just wanted to make this record and put it out, and it's everything sort of just been exceeded my expectation in a lovely way that yeah, I'm just really grateful that people have connected with it, and that kind of snowballs and leads to more things and being able to write more music and record more music. So yeah, I'm really grateful that, yeah, over the last year that people have connected with it, and it seems to be having a life as it goes. I'm so grateful for PBS and Triple R because, I mean, I grew up listening to those stations, and that really gave me like an education in music, like listening to Pierre Baroni and you know, Vince Peach, who does the Northern Soul Show, and Miss Goldie, and, you know, Chris Gill, and all these amazing people who spend their life just researching and discovering music so that they can educate the next generation. And so, I mean, it's definitely made me, living in Naarm like the musician I am, I think, being surrounded by that community radio. I don't know, you know, what sort of musician I would be without that environment. So, but places like, you know, I think people can tune into those stations in Castlemaine, which is cool. But I think festivals like this are a great sort of gateway into maybe coming back and playing your own show at a theatre or something. But it's a really good way to, I guess, showcase a lot of different acts, and people can, you know, decide what they like, and maybe we can come back and play our own show here. But yeah, I'm always excited and surprised where we play in a new city or a new place, and someone knows the words to the song, or, you know, that's just blows my mind still. Well, we actually recorded my next record, my next like second full-length record, in Castlemaine at the Sound Recording Studio, which is like this beautiful old barn, analog to tape studio. And yeah, so a lot of the songs that we played today are from the next record. So there's a little bit of a Castlemaine link. But yeah, I'm excited for next year. Oh, I'd love to see Witch. I haven't seen them yet. And King Stingray, Megan Washington, you know, Dee Dee and Roe were awesome. So yeah, it's a great program. Hi, this is Ella Thompson at Town Folk, and support PBS, the station that supports us all.